on News 5 Live, an avalanche of murders and violent crimes over the weekend. Back to school blues for students as face-to-face instruction puts on hold. And a Lila Vernon song goes viral in Guatemala, but prompts an angry response in Belize. Details of these stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese, exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
Is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV, entertainment, anytime, anywhere.
This Monday on Get the Facts. They've spent the last year and a half treating patients at the KHMH COVID unit. Now, Dr. Eric Bradley and Nurse Casilda Bowman tackle your questions about the risk for contracting COVID in vaccinated people and shed light on what they're now seeing in patients with the recent spread of the Delta variant. The show starts at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, August 16th. Catch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Send your questions to 672-5555 or via Facebook using hashtag #GetTheFacts.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include Cath Lab, Adult Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, August 16th. I am Sabrina Daly. It was a bloody weekend with a slew of reports of violence across the country, but mostly in Belize City. One of the first incidents occurred when a game of dominoes taking place well past midnight on Friday ended in a fatal stabbing. Police are charging the victim's friend with his murder. Shane Bradley remains in police custody following an altercation at an apartment building on Campus Avenue during which he inflicted multiple stab wounds on Edward Westby. The nightly curfew prohibits all social gatherings beyond 9 p.m. However, on Saturday morning, sometime before 3 a.m., both men were well into their game when they got into an altercation. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
24-year-old Edward Westby met a violent demise at this apartment complex in West Landiver. It's where the young auto mechanic lived with his common-law wife, mother-in-law, and 2 kids. In the early hours of Saturday morning, Westby was fatally stabbed by someone he was socializing with outside of his flat.
Police responded to a stabbing incident at Campus Avenue Apartments. Upon arrival, they learned that Edward Westby received stab wounds. He was taken to the KHMH where he died thereafter. Investigation revealed that he was there along with other persons socializing and playing dominoes when a male person, namely Shane Bradley, began to behave disorderly.
Bradley, a boat captain, had to be escorted from the location. He returned to Westby's place twice that morning, and on the second occasion, things turned deadly. According to Zenaida Lanza, her son-in-law was stabbed during the altercation. Prior to the incident, the pair was outside playing dominoes. She describes Westby as the breadwinner of the family.
In the years I know he has always cared for people that he doesn't even know. Like me, I'm just his mother-in-law, but he's the one who takes care of me. My baby, loved me, my baby. He go on. Little brother who he look after, his own son, and my daughter with his wife. I got so much memories for him.
Lanza was inside the apartment when Westby was injured. When she peered outside sometime before 3 a.m., she observed that he was bleeding profusely. In the dead of night, she walked over to the nearest police station to inform the officers on duty about what had taken place at the residence.
Information we have is that they were socializing, and we are looking at the circumstances of that gathering and whether the amount of persons corresponded to the USI.
The tragic incident happened during curfew hours. His guests should have been at home by 9 o'clock on Friday night.
That is not allowed. Like I said, the information is that they were socializing in that area, and that is what led to this stabbing. He has since been detained, and he has been charged for the crime of murder.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
A Belize City man who was part of an ongoing feud between 2 criminal groups in his neighborhood foretold his own death several months ago. Despite Delroy Sankey telling his loved ones that he was on borrowed time, he did not know when his enemies would catch up with him. Well, they did so on Sunday morning and spared him no mercy. Sankey was along with another man in the vicinity of the Lord's Ridge Cemetery when they were met with a deadly spray of bullets. The 22-year-old died on the scene of the shooting. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
A bitter rivalry between 2 gangs in the area of Antelope Street Extension turned deadly on Sunday morning when 22-year-old Delroy Sankey was shot and killed on the other side of that neighborhood. According to a close relative, Talok, as he was also known, had foreseen his violent end and kept telling his family that he was a dead man walking.
He feel that. He feel it because ever since he always tell me, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, I done dead, and I walk in dead, and I go to talk to spirit.
It is unclear at this point what Sankey may have been involved with that placed a target on his back. Police say he was in the company of another individual when they came under gunfire.
Around 12:35 p.m., police responded to a shooting incident on Antelope Street Extension. Upon the arrival, they learned that 2 persons had been shot. Delroy Sankey, 22 years, and Michael Gladden. Delroy Sankey was taken to the KHMH where he was pronounced dead thereafter. Investigation revealed that he was in that area when he was approached by male persons who fired shots at him, causing his fatal injury.
Sankey's relative, who raised him as her own son, told News 5 off camera that she was alerted to the fatal shooting by her children.
I didn't want to cook. I just say, one of my stepson here, I say that they just shell down your brother. Well, 20 young man, they say, they just shell down to look. So, like, we never believe. But when everybody come, like, then they cry, right? So I cut off, and I literally cut off the stove because I gone and come back and my stove is still there, and after the back like an hour. With me and my daughter now we take a walk back to somebody and Bridge area. But we never say, but I think the sister and thing they say. And so we know that yes, it did for true.
Earlier today, Senior Superintendent Gilberto Romero confirmed the shooting as a gang-related incident. Michael Gladden, who was with Sankey at the time of the shooting, is recuperating at the Carlucci Memorial Hospital.
He is admitted at the KHMH in a stable condition.
Okay, is this a part of ongoing rivalries that have been happening in that area?
Yes, this is a result of ongoing rivalry with those groups in that area.
Is there any, are the suspects from the two sets that are having this beef right now?
That is correct. The suspects are known to have rivalries there.
Why would he venture into that area, or why should he not have gone there?
Because, like I said, we know they want to kill her. But not like we don't know. Because threats and things pass around. So we know they want to do one thing. Not like we don't know, we know it. We know the people there, we know what happened, but we telling you no go. But like I said, he never had no fear. And because he was fearless, he always go back there.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
A domestic argument between a man and his former common-law wife ended with him being fatally stabbed on Sunday morning. 47-year-old Albert Broster was stabbed twice to the upper body as he walked with Lisa Laureano on Bocatora Street. The two were engaged in a verbal exchange when Laureano reportedly produced a knife and inflicted the injuries. According to Belize City Police, an investigation into the incident will determine what charges will be brought against Laureano.
Police responded to a stabbing incident on Bocatora Street. Information was gathered that Albert Broster received stab wounds to the body. He was treated at the KHMH and he succumbed to his injuries thereafter. Investigation is that he had an argument with his ex-common-law, Lisa Laureano, who inflicted the stab injuries to him. Lisa Laureano is presently in police custody and will be charged sometime today after all the evidence is reviewed.
Will she be charged for murder or manslaughter, sir, or self-defense? What's the idea?
We are conducting an investigation. Like I said, at the end of the day, we will determine what the appropriate charge will be.
We're told that the stabbing was preceded by an argument of a domestic nature where she told him that allegedly that he has to stop beating her and breaking her personal items, and that
is correct. They had an argument over that issue. The information we have is that they had an argument and she pulled out the knife and inflicted the stab wounds to him. That is the information we have at this time.
Police are seeking a suspect in the murder of Belmopan resident William Pook. His body was found in an area near a creek off Costa Rica Street extension on Friday evening. It appeared that Pook had been socializing with a group of men in the area, but an argument ensued and things took a turn for the worst. Pook was stabbed multiple times and he succumbed to the injuries. Here's what police told us about their investigation.
On Friday last, sometime around 4 p.m., police were called to the Costa Rica extension area in the San Martin area, Belmopan, where they observed the lifeless body of William Pook, 30 yards with apparent stab wounds somewhere on the outskirts of Costa Rica extension in some bushes. The scene was processed and the body was removed to the Western Regional Hospital where it was pronounced dead. What the police know so far is that he was in confrontation with someone of Hispanic descent who he owed some monies to. And on Wednesday, whilst he was in that discussion with that person, he was even threatened to be killed. However, no report was made to the police. A number of statements have been recorded in relation to the investigation, and we are seeking one named suspect in relation to this investigation.
Police are questioning whether a stabbing that occurred a short distance from where Puk was murdered is connected. Esvin Arana was at home when he was ambushed by two individuals and wounded. Arana's brother does not think the attack is related.
Police were called to the home of Esvin Arana in the J and Double housing area in Belmopan, where he was observed also with stab wounds. What we know so far is that two young Hispanic males in their teens visited his home, where they asked for someone and was told that that person did not reside there, and as a result those persons inflicted several stab wounds to him.
So then I asked for this young man, his nickname is Caliche. Yeah, and then my brother tell him, well, he got a nice oil, he no come right there. I don't know when he there, I got a nice oil, so. Alright, so then they come and ask my brother if he want smoke only weed. My brother say he no smoke no weed, because my brother no smoke weed. And I tell the boy, if you no want smoke only weed, you no go. We relax, we roll up on the weed and we smoke on the weed, and then we go left. And then they roll up, they never roll up, they crush up the weed and everything. Then my brother said, then like, down the left and like, they gone in at the street side, and then down the left, why me going on, and then they no want smoke, and then like, they gone. So suddenly, one of them come back, like forget leave weed and stuff, and then the next one surprised actually back in at the hammock. So when my brother said the next one, and then they come with the knife and he open with the knife, it's a stabber. So the next one jump in and they make one scissors right there, one of my brother's scissors, and he start open up with the scissors too.
It sounds like these men came with an intention to kill. Why would they want to do this to your brother?
Maybe because I hear some rumors he and Elikro then do stupidness, and then he then thinks like Bale gone and tell something to my brother, but my brother say he know nothing, he knows him for a while, he knows that young man there.
There was other loss of life over the weekend. Stay tuned.
We all find ourselves reminiscing on life before COVID-19, roaming freely, embracing without concern, laughing and enjoying the splendors of life. My, how we miss those times. It's time to get vaccinated so we can all start doing the things we love with the people we love in the safest possible manner once again. Digi, Mayona Resorts, and the Ministry of Health encourages all Belizeans to get your first and second vaccine for chances to win tons of awesome prizes now through September 30th. Win free LTE data packages every week, cash prizes, and a free 1-year mobile postpaid plan each month courtesy of Digi. Plus a weekend family getaway at a Mayona Gold Standard Resort each month courtesy Mayona Resorts. Winners will be posted on Digi Facebook and Instagram and Ministry of Health's Facebook every Friday starting June 25th. Visit a vaccination center nearest you today. Get vaccinated and win. Visit livedigi.com for more details.
What if the profits of your bank were shared equally with you instead of with unknown shareholders and large corporations? What if those profits remained in Belize to enrich the communities where we live? What if just having an account with your bank meant that you were now a part owner of that bank? What if your voice mattered and you had a say in how your bank is being run? What if your bank was always looking out for your best interests and its biggest goal was to see you succeed? That's what it means to be part of a credit union where all of our members are in this together. Communities work best when they work for each other. Cooperation strengthens us all. Discover the credit union difference and find out just how stronger we can be together.
My My name is Star, and I'm a Belizean trans man.
Star is a very fun person, very outgoing, very friendly person, and quite a charming individual, to just spend some time with.
Dalila is a friend of mine. She's one of my only friends that have been very supportive.
I have so much admiration for Star because I was never aware of the kind of discrimination that Star faces for just being who he is and being true to himself.
It's important to have allies that will respect me no matter what.
For me, being trans, being gay, being lesbian, doesn't matter to me, it doesn't.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
My name is Sandra Johnson. I've been living in Belize, mostly on the Placencia Peninsula, for over 27 years. I love being an agent, and I love working for RFNG. And if there's anything that I feel as an agent I'm struggling with or have questions about, the head office team is right there to help. It makes me proud to be an RFNG agent because of the credibility that RFNG has.
I am your neighbor. I am your friend. I am your RFNG agent.
Find your nearest RFNG agent on our website at rfginsuranceBelize.com, where it pays to get it right.
At Benquip, we offer a complete line of Honda products featuring the most trusted and reliable line of motorcycles in Belize. For outdoor and marine recreation, we have Polaris ATVs and UTVs, Honda Outboards, and Volvo Penta Marine Solutions. When it's time to service your vehicle or equipment, you can find the brands you trust at Benquip. We carry a large inventory of Castrol oils, NGK spark plugs, and a full range of cleaning products from Magic. Get power when you need it with Kohler and Honda generators. We also have trimmers and lawnmowers from Honda and Husqvarna, so you can keep your yard and surroundings properly maintained. So visit Benquip today at 3 miles on the Philip Golson Highway to get the equipment, parts, and service you need.
How does the AstraZeneca vaccine work? The vaccine provides support to help your body develop immunity to the virus that causes COVID-19. The body is left with a supply of memory cells that will remember how to fight the virus. It takes a few weeks for the body to produce the antibodies after vaccination. How long does it take to build immunity after taking the first dose of the vaccine? There is protection 14 days after a person's first dose. However, that initial protection may decline over time, which is the reason why it is so important to get the second shot. How long after the first dose should one take the second dose? The second dose should be given between week 8 and week 12. Are there any deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine? There have been no deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Vaccines save lives. They remain the safest, most effective, and cost-effective medical tool developed. Increased uptake of the vaccine is the best way to stop this pandemic, save lives, and return to normalcy.
Also, loss of life in Santa Elena town in western Belize. A 19-year-old resident died after the motorcycle he was riding collided with an SUV near the junction of Branch Mouth and the Lumalus Boulevard. What is not certain at this time is who was behind the steering wheel. While Valdemar Lino has been arraigned and charged for a slew of traffic offenses, including manslaughter by negligence, the family believes that his common-law wife, Naomi Godoy, was the one behind the wheel, and they are asking for justice. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
He was traveling on a motorcycle on the Lumalus Boulevard when he was hit by an SUV, reportedly coming from the other direction. 19-year-old Jalen Alvarez was fatally injured and pronounced dead at the San Ignacio Community Hospital.
From my son, 12 years old,
he know for drive everything. Everything. So he could never overtake one vehicle if the vehicle is coming from Santa Elena to Cayo. He could never overtake she. And that vehicle had to knock my son so hard that his shoulder broke, his eyes come out, his foot broke. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I just need justice. He was well known. He was a football player. He not even started his life yet. He was just about to. He have lot of dreams. He wasn't working at the time, but he lay thing wrong and wrong. He was a jovial person, always make you laugh. He not give trouble.
Even as she identified her son in the morgue, Felicia remains perplexed because Jalen, who was living in Cristo Rey village, was on his way to visit her when the tragedy occurred.
He was coming to Santa Elena, go to left off the cycle where he borrowed it from. But he never did reach his destination.
What the police know so far is that Mr. Lino was traveling into San Ignacio town from the direction of Santa Elena when he made a left turn in a southerly direction into the oncoming lane of the motorcyclist and thereby colliding into him. As a result, he then drove another 150 feet before coming to a stop and then came out along with others and tried to render assistance to Mr. Alvarez, who was on the ground.
Traveling in the Ford Escape SUV were Valdemir Lino and his common-law wife, Noemi Godoy. Godoy received some injuries, was treated and released from the hospital. Today, Lino was arraigned for the incident, but the family believes that Godoy was the one behind the wheel.
When I reached, the lady wanted to come see the family, and she no, you cannot go and see the family right now. So my belief is one cover-up have to happen. I get a phone call this morning stating that the vehicle, they didn't take the vehicle at the station. I just want to find out where the vehicle is because it needs to be at the station. I need it for the day.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
2 people lost their lives by drowning over the weekend. Juan Avendano was with a team operating on some pipes in the Placencia Lagoon on Sunday when he went under. Divers in the area later helped retrieve his body. In Corozal, an evening of socializing on the Corozal seaside proved fatal for San Antonio Village resident Ilia Villanueva. ACP Joseph Maivet spoke on both tragedies.
Shortly after 1 p.m., police were alerted to a drowning in the Placencia Lagoon, where they learned that one Juan Carlos Avendano, 18 years of a Silkgrass address, was along with a work crew who had gone to do some work on a pipe that runs into the lagoon. At the time, he was accompanied by 4 others, including the supervisor of that job. We later interviewed the supervisor, who indicated that when he got this group of workmen, he had questioned them as to whether or not all those persons were swimmers, to which all responded yes. As a result, shortly after 10, they made their way into the lagoon walking towards the pipe, where somewhere halfway when it began getting deep, Juan Carlos Avendano then decided to turn back, leaving the crew to move forward. At this point, they didn't realize that anything was wrong and continued on their way. When they looked around, they saw him struggling for help, and that is when he went underwater and did not resurface. Also yesterday, sometime around 1:30 p.m., police responded to a drowning incident in the Roundhouse area on the Corozal seaside, where upon their arrival, they saw the apparent lifeless body of one Elias Villanueva, 43 years, of San Antonio Village, Corozal, on the banks where CPR was being administered to him by those persons who were also swimming and tried to assist him in returning back to shore. What we've learned so far is that he had gone out swimming, and during the process he seemingly was having some difficulty and tried to return to shore, and that is when he went underwater and did not resurface.
In another incident gone viral, a police officer is seen pepper spraying two young men already in handcuffs. As News 5 found out, the Commissioner of Police has acted swiftly on the matter.
The policeman approached me, my business kind of way, and he sprayed pepper spray in my eye. And the man never come and explain what the matter, why he come arrest me for all the tell him, put up a hand and make we not move, and I said nothing, and then put on the handcuff.
Video captured Glenford Tillett and Clifton Casey in handcuffs when PC David Griffith pepper sprayed both men in their eyes. The officers were at the house in response to an incident earlier that day.
That makes me feel like I pass out because I never used to have pepper spray going in my eye because it can't like deeply hurt, it painful.
Tillett's mother, Margaret Bull, admits that there was an earlier altercation involving her son. She argues, however, that PC Griffith's response was unjustifiable.
All they do come out, handcuff the two of them, come out of the house, they look for my car, they chill where they down there. So, when he down from there, he gone to my son with the video over the side, and he tell him, move the camera from out of my face. Arrest our backs, your phone out your hand, and backs in your face. Then that when Glenford react and say, what? Then you're the fool is something different. That's when he replied to the officer. Officer come take out the pepper spray and spray in it, two and in the eye. Drop on the gun and haul up the set and play, pass him. That's how the officer respond to them.
PC Griffith has since been placed on interdiction. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams commented.
As a department, we are disgusted at what we saw. The behavior displayed by PC Griffith is not what we stand for. It is not what we are about. And it is not going to be countenanced by us. There is no way you can justify pepper spraying two young men who are handcuffed. And if you look at the video, there is nothing that these young men did other than being a bit chatty, and it did not warrant what he did.
Doris Hemsley, Tillett's grandmother, responded to the news that PC Griffith would be placed on interdiction.
We will have to say that to their own eye, because to every time, anytime they go and enchant people, the commissioner say, yeah, do this, yeah, do that, and they don't do nothing. So what I want to do that, just give we justice, because if you don't give we justice, we will fight for it.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A well-known LGBT activist, Daricia Castillo Salazar, is out on bail tonight after being accused of stabbing a woman in the face at a hotel in San Pedro early on Sunday morning. Salazar appeared in San Pedro Magistrates Court this morning, where she was arraigned on charges of wounding. She was offered and met a bail of $2,000. She returns to court on October 15th. As Belize City reels from a weekend of savagery this morning, yet another youth was gunned down execution style. But what was his killing a retaliatory act for a shooting last night? King was identified as the gunman in an attack on a family at their house on Mayflower Street in Belize City. Marian Alley went looking for answers.
The bloodletting of the weekend spilled into Monday morning with yet another fatal shooting. It happened shortly after 9 a.m. and the victim would be 17-year-old Kanye King, a laborer of number 5 Mayflower Street in Belize City. King was taken down several blocks away from his house, about 100 feet in some bushes off Park Street in the Gungulung area of Belize City. Neighbors heard 7 gunshots, and 6 of them hit their mark.
We take it hard. My mom took it hard. I take it hard. My siblings take it hard. This is the first time we ever lose somebody so close to we. So, yeah, we take it really hard.
Reports are that sometime after 11 on Sunday night, 2 youths went to the home of Joseph Panting at number 77 Mayflower Street and called out for one of his sons, Kiwan Panting. But Joseph Panting answered the door and was shot in the left shoulder. One of the attackers then walked past Panting and over to his 2 sons who were sleeping and shot at them. While the father tried to stand in the line of the bullets to protect his sons, one of them, Keon, was shot. Joseph Panting was also hit again as he stood in front of his sons. Both father and son are recuperating in the KHMH.
The only thing I know so far is that they kill her. But I don't know nothing else, like to say if it may involve or engage with anything with anybody, any dispute with anybody, I don't know. I'm not sure, so I can't tell you. The thing I hear about my brother is that he made do some work past some street. I think it was Bannock Street. I guess he may try to keep himself occupied with something, constructive.
The King family are now left making plans to lay to rest their loved one. Reporting for News 5, Marion Ali.
Police have recovered expended 9mm shells from the scene. After the break, despite COVID, people continue to party and to have confrontations with police. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
At Belize Diagnostic Center, we offer FDA-approved PCR testing. Get your results as quickly as 1 hour. Don't risk exposure to COVID-19 by going elsewhere. We take appointments, or we can come to your home or office using our concierge service with no additional fees. We have 10 locations countrywide. Call or WhatsApp 613-TEST. That's 613-8378 to schedule your test today.
Here are 3 reasons why people choose Dunis as their #1 store. Reason 1, for loans of up to $1,000 in cash for unexpected emergencies. The process is quick and easy. Reason 2, for a wide variety of household items such as smart TVs, washers and dryers, stoves, refrigerators, freezers, cookware, back-to-school supplies, and much more. Check out our comfortable sofa sets in various sizes and styles. And reason 3, we are agents for Western Union, where you can send or receive money in minutes or pay all your utility bills and avoid waiting in long lines. And don't forget, Dunis provides layaway plans and credit on all household items. So make the right choice and shop for the best quality products at competitive prices with friendly customer service.
Dunis, located at number 57 Albert Street, Belize City, and in Corozal at number 8 Park Street South. Give us a call at 280-5209, 650-6580, or 422-3342. Dunis!
I visited the land of Serbia, a great many miles away. I ascended the Mount Everest few people have conquered. I roared on the snow-covered Antarctic and Arctic. I rolled swiftly across the vast, untamed desert. Ling Long Tire, conquers every corner of the world.
Distributed by Enrique Martinez and Sons Limited, 2 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun with eCash. We can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
Nestle. Start healthy, stay healthy.
Several people were arrested and charged for allegedly taking part in a boat party on board a catamaran that was chartered to take a group of persons to Key Cocker on Saturday. The group was heading to the island to throw a birthday bash for someone on the boat called Joyride. But their trip ended when police intercepted the vessel before it even left the dock at the Princess Ramada Pier. At the center of the controversy is Belize City Councillor Alan Pollard, who reports says organized the boat party. Pollard, via a Facebook post, has vehemently denied the allegation. And the boat owner, Rico Black, told News 5 today that nothing could be further from the truth as far as any boat party involving his vessel is concerned.
Well, basically, I was chartered to do a transfer from Belize City to Key Cocker. It was a family, a Thompson family that hired me to charter 45 persons from the Princess Hotel to Key Cocker. They chartered the boat in the essence that they didn't want to travel on the Belize Express or Ocean Ferry because of the social distancing. So they hired my boat. The capacity of my boat is 150 passengers. So by them putting 45, I was way below my capacity. So they wanted the space because the boat has 2 decks, upstairs and downstairs. So 45 people was the perfect amount for the size of the boat. So basically they hired me to transfer them, but at the same token, they were taking their food, drinks, and so forth because they were going to Key Cocker and hang out there for the day, and I would bring them back in the evening. While we were there, a lady came by and visited us, and then a message was sent to me by my wife stating that, is it true that I have 100 passengers on my boat? And I said, no, I don't. This gentleman chartered my boat for 45 passengers with my crew, which is 3, which is 48. I said, and then she said, we're doing a big party. I said, no. The gentleman hired bartenders and everything to take along with him to the area where they want to go.
Did it at any point end up being a party?
No. We not even move off of the dock. When the police officers came there, everybody had on their masks and everything. We were following the protocols and everything. We were just about to leave. We were waiting for the birthday lady and the birthday boy to get on board the boat so we can depart towards Kikaka.
And then that was where the police intercepted you?
Exactly. There was never a party on board the boat.
Okay, so what if I saw the video of what the lady took, what would the video show me?
The video will show you people sitting down there waiting for the other passengers to arrive. There was 2 guys there with the music, testing their speakers, and I was standing by the boat. The engines were already started, ready to depart, and my crew was outside helping people to enter the boat. The police officers came there and made a head count, and they noticed that it was exactly 45 people on board the boat. Everyone had a mask.
Black has been charged with inciting an event. Other passengers were charged with illegal social gathering. While Rico Black declined to name the client who chartered his boat, he says it was not Councillor Pollard and that he has never met him or done any business with him. Black says he is trying to secure a meeting with Minister of Home Affairs Karim Musa to find out the parameters within which he can operate his business. He says he previously did hire out his boats for parties, but since the COVID regulations have been imposed, he has only been taking excursions on his vessels. For his part, Councillor Pollard posted a message on social media saying that reports he had chartered the boat were baseless, that the last time he organized any event was in 2019, and he has since left that industry. Police Commissioner Chester Williams also addressed an incident at Margarita's Bar on Faubers Road, where police officers used pepper spray to ward off civilians.
Enforcement of the quarantine regulation is very, very important at this time. And so the police went to Margarita Bar last night and they found infractions and they dealt with it. I saw in the video footage where a young man charged at the police officer, and the police officer may have sprayed him. But again, at the end of the day, you cannot charge at a police officer who is armed. It could have been worse. And so I heard the cry of the young lady in the video footage, but at the end of the day, the matter will be looked at by PSB. But at this time, I do not see anything wrong done by the police.
There was also another incident at Shisha's restaurant in Newtown Barracks in Belize City involving police. It happened on Friday night, and Commissioner Williams told the media that overcrowding was an issue at the restaurant.
There were a number of restaurants in Belize City that were packed to capacity and were operating under air condition. You know that the regulation speaks to the fact that restaurants can operate at 50% capacity and it must be open air. Or for those restaurants that are not open air, they must not operate under AC. The doors must be open, the windows must be open to allow air to flow. Upon police visiting that particular establishment, it was packed to capacity and under AC. So they were in clear violation of the regulation. So the proprietors were arrested and charged for that matter.
Border jumpers continue to be a problem, but the public usually does not expect a police officer to be one of them. Yet, an officer attached to Precinct 1 in Belize City spent a night behind bars in Mexico after he was intercepted by Mexican authorities for illegal entry. PC Mark Hines told investigators that he jumped the border from Belize using a canoe to purchase mechanical parts for his motorcycle. He was handed over to Belizean authorities. He is now being dealt with by the Professional Standards Branch.
What we know so far is that PC Mark Hines 1377 is attached to Precinct 1 in Belize City and resides in Samakin Village in the Corozal district. He was handed over to border personnel on Thursday, over to immigration and police officers at the border, where he was taken into custody. He was interviewed where he indicated to officers that he had crossed the border in order to purchase mechanical parts for his motorcycle. At the time, though, he did have a PCR test which he had recently taken, and so an ongoing investigation is being carried out by the Professional Standards Branch in relation to him at this time.
Kind is being dealt with at this moment internally. We are working closely with immigration, and if immigration agree to bring the charge, a criminal charge against him, then we will support them. We cannot encourage these type of behavior. He's been treated as a regular border jumper.
There was disappointing news for children this weekend when the Ministry of Education announced on Sunday that, due to the rise in COVID cases, they would not be allowing face-to-face classes to resume in the next few days. Instead, remote learning will be in place once more for all government and grant-aided schools. This has dashed the hopes of both the students, their families, and teachers who are looking forward to a return to some normalcy in the coming weeks. But the MOE says the decision is based on recommendations from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and that face-to-face instruction will begin when it is deemed safe to transition into hybrid learning. News 5 contacted the CEO in the Ministry of Education, Diane Mejia, who was in a meeting all day today, but she promised to have more for us tomorrow. Secondary schools were to resume in person on the 23rd and primary and pre-primary on August 30th. Despite a COVID scare last week, when one of the Prime Minister's staffers tested positive, Cabinet will meet in person on Tuesday as per normal. The Prime Minister and all of those who were tested last week as a result of the exposure to the staffer were negative. Cabinet will be adhering to all COVID distancing and hygiene protocols. Although we did receive reports that one Cabinet Minister has tested positive, is self-isolating and working from home this week, we could not confirm this with the individual or anyone authorized to speak on behalf of the Cabinet. Just ahead, Belizeans are up in arms over the appropriation of a beloved song by one of the queens of Creole music. The latest on Din Din Walla Walla controversy when we come back.
I saw the impacts of COVID-19, and I don't want to experience that again. That is why I took proactive steps to protect myself, my family, my fellow co-workers, visitors, and tourists.
I love seeing my guests happy, and my job is to give them a safe tour. By getting vaccinated, I achieve both these things.
By being vaccinated, I am doing my part to help.
Together, we can build our tourism industry by getting vaccinated. We encourage all tourism workers to get vaccinated so that tourists can continue to choose Belize as their destination of choice. The recovery of our tourism industry depends on you. Get vaxxed.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight projects.
Manuel Vazquez's turn as governor of the Central Bank of Belize is arguably the shortest stint on record for someone in that capacity. That's because on Friday, he was given his walking papers following the cancellation of an instrument of appointment from the Governor General. It is the first time in Belize's history that such a move has been taken, notwithstanding Vazquez's professional accomplishments with the International Monetary Fund, where he served for 15 years. The Ministry of Finance reportedly found him to be uncompromising and could not work with him. Since Vazquez's appointment back in April, former Central Bank Governor Sidney Campbell was brought on board as executive chairman in an effort to smoothen things out. But those efforts seemingly fell flat. With Vazquez's departure, Campbell is directly responsible for steering the bank's operations until a successor is appointed. It is expected that government will have to pay a tidy sum for terminating Vazquez's contract. The Commission of Inquiry into the sale of a number of government vehicles designated as unserviceable in the last days of the United Democratic Party administration continued today. Witness call this morning were all formerly well-connected members of the UDP, including one who was a sitting member of the House of Representatives. Commission Chairman Andrew Marshallek focused on the procedures involving and how each person's put in a bid that was either accepted as is or amended by the Ministry of Finance. The sales were then approved by the Minister of Finance, who at the time was Prime Minister Dean Barrow. Pearl Stewart and Dr. Angel Campos said they were buying vehicles for parts, while Alpheus Gillett indicated he wanted to use his purchase in his role as Rural NEMO Coordinator. While the records in front of the commission showed he bought 2 Wingles, he claims he only bought 1. Former ministerial driver Junior Herbert Lopez was presumably called because the commission records did not show the balance he had paid, but he produced records on his phone to show it had. He was then dismissed. The exchange was a bit more protracted with the others. Here are some insights.
So it wasn't the case that you were told what the price was?
Well, the 1,000 I think may have been mentioned as a possibility.
So you were given some guidance on it from the ministry before you submitted your bid?
It's possible.
All right.
I go back to Brody's. They decide if the cranberry juice is going to be $3 or $4.
Certainly. And if you want to use that analogy, Brody's owns that cranberry juice. You see, the difference with the government of Belize is that the car belongs to the people of Belize. They're entrusted in managing it.
Mm-hmm.
So while Mr. Brody's can decide to give it away if he wants, it's a little different with the government of Belize. A second file was presented to us, by the ministry. And again, there was a letter supposedly from you. And it says, and I'm reading it to you and you tell me whether or not it's for you. Whatever you want to say, please feel free to say it. I'm just sharing the information with you at this point. It says, Dear Mr. Vicente, I, Mr. Alpheus Gillett, hereby express my interest in purchasing a black Wingle pickup truck, formerly of the police department, now parked at the vehicle care unit compound in Belmopan. I'm prepared to pay the sum of $500 for the said vehicle. Do you remember making a second application for a second Wingle?
No, now that you read it to me, yes, but I didn't receive that vehicle, and the reason for that is because I didn't purchase it again, and the reason for that is because I found out that that vehicle was gasoline, and I wanted a diesel, but I didn't receive that vehicle at all.
Okay. Are you aware that sale was approved to you as well?
Well, if I'm aware it was approved?
Yeah, on the 4th February 2020, the Honorable Dean Barrow, Prime Minister, approved the sale of that Wingle to you for $500.
No, sir. Not aware.
No, not aware of the approval. And on the 2nd March 2020, well, the receipt says it was the money was the $500 was paid by you, but it also says it was paid in cash.
No, sir.
Did you pay for the car?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
The registry confirmed receipt of the money. Could it be that somebody else paid for the car?
It could quite possibly be. Sir, there's any record of the vehicle leaving that compound? Do you have any record of that?
So that it was approved to be sold to you for $500, that the $500 was paid and the vehicle was sold. It's in the list of vehicles that have been sold and disposed of by the government during the relevant.
I'm in no position to deny that it was approved to me, but what I'm saying is that I didn't pay for any vehicle, I didn't receive any vehicle.
I have not been a lucrative person, and if you go at my house, I don't have a 2000 year vehicle, and I prefer those old ones because even though they are old, they take the battering more. And my dad is a cane farmer, so I go a lot at the cane field, and those vehicles are made for that. That's why I tried to fix that, because that is what I use to go to the farm.
At the time you bought the car, you were a member of the House of Representatives?
Yes, sir.
Were you concerned that entering into a contract with the government would have disqualified you from that position any at all? Did you give any thought to that?
No, sir, I did not know. I was not aware of that.
While Manuel Vasquez's turn as governor of Central Bank of Belize. The committee inquiry continued this afternoon. News 5 will have coverage of that session on tomorrow's newscast. Belize shines again tonight as our very own former Minister of Labor, Dr. Carla Barnett, was today installed as the 8th Secretary General of CARICOM. Dr. Barnett was sworn in by Chairman of CARICOM, Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, during a brief virtual ceremony of CARICOM this morning.
As you join this noble endeavor of Caribbean integration, I know that you bring vast expertise and experience to this position. Your previous years as Assistant Secretary General obviously place you in an ideal position to hit the ground running. As the first female CARICOM Secretary General, I know that you will succeed in demonstrating to the world that talent resides in both sexes equally, and that the leadership of our regional institutions is open to those talented sons and daughters who bring the requisite skills to the table.
Chair, I begin my tenure with no misapprehensions about the severity of the challenges that our community faces economically, socially, environmentally, and financially. The thrust to build resilience against the existential threat of climate change in all its dimensions, and the urgency of constructing a recovery from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic demand our continued focused energy. Even as we address these critical tasks, we cannot afford to neglect youth unemployment, which has led the explosion of the jobless in the wake of COVID-19. a troubling rise in crime, especially violent crime in the home and on the streets, the need to strengthen food security, reduce the incidence of non-communicable diseases, and more effectively address the issue of blacklisting by the major industrial countries and the consequential loss of correspondent banking relations. All of these affect the lives and livelihoods of each and everyone in our community. It is therefore incumbent on all of us to be engaged in finding solutions and taking action to overcome these obstacles in our path to a secure, viable, and ultimately sustainably prosperous community for all.
While Barnett highlighted the success that the region celebrated in the recent Olympic Games, she also extended sympathy to the survivors in Haiti, who lost loved ones and lost property to a devastating earthquake on Saturday, followed by torrential rains and flooding, now by Tropical Depression Grace. The late Leila Vernon was one of Belize's pride and joys for her exemplary effort in helping to salvage the Creole culture through music. And when she passed away in February of 2017, Belizeans were saddened. But her memory lives on in her music that is used at cultural events and occasions that Belizeans celebrate at home and abroad. So when a musical piece going by the same name as Leila's Din Din Walla Walla, performed by a Guatemalan artist, surfaced this weekend, it was the recipe for stark social media attacks. While the verses are different from Leila's Creole version and the intro to the song appeared to be a remix, the chorus of the song, which is what made it popular and unique to Leila in the first place, was the same as hers. But while the Guatemalan singer, Kimberly Flores, got flack from the public, the Belizean Society of Composers, Authors, Publishers says because the musical work is a traditional Creole song, it appears to be a public domain work, which means that no exclusive intellectual property rights apply, and no permission needs to be obtained. In its release on Monday, BISCAP stated, quote, anyone can record the song and have even created a derivative work, which is the case here since Kimberly Flores' song is in a different language. Works enter public domain after copyright has expired, if the owner has forfeited their rights or places the work as public domain, unquote. BISCAP says that it agrees with the Minister of Culture, Francis Fonseca, that we must understand the, quote, absolute importance of our artists legally registering and protecting their individual original works, unquote. BISCAP calls on the government to collaborate, dialogue, and take necessary measures to actively enforce copyright laws. Just ahead, climate change in our own backyards. Urban resilience takes center stage.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
Belize Electricity Limited invites primary school students from standards 4, 5, and 6 to enter the annual Safety and Health Week essay competition. Essays should be your original work, explaining what our 2021 Safety and Health Week theme means to you, embracing the new normal and the future, working together, focused and safe. Essays should be a maximum of 500 words and submitted electronically by Wednesday, August 25, 2021 to safety@bel.gov.bg BEL.com.bz. First place winners will receive $1,000 cash. Second place wins $750 cash. And third place winners will receive $500. The school of each first place winner will also receive a $3,000 cash prize. Visit BEL's Facebook page or email safety@bel.com.bz. Belize Electricity Limited, embracing the new normal and the future, working together, focused and safe.
This Monday on Get the Facts. They've spent the last year and a half treating patients at the KHMH COVID unit. Now Dr. Eric Bradley and Nurse Casilda Bowman tackle your questions about the risk for contracting COVID in vaccinated people and shed light on what they're now seeing in patients with the recent spread of the Delta variant. The show starts at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, August 16th. Catch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Send your questions to 672-5555 or via Facebook using hashtag #GetTheFacts. At the San Ignacio Resort Hotel, a ceremony of achievements and presentation of a third disbursement of the Belize Urban Resilience and Disaster Prevention Project was held. It is a collaboration between Belize and the Taiwanese government that sought to make the Cayo district, which has been recently affected by flooding, more resilient to the impacts of climate change. News 5 was there, and here's a report.
Plagued by recent flooding in the west, the twin towns of San Ignacio and Santa Elena were the beneficiaries of the Belize Urban Resilience and Disaster Prevention Project, an initiative between the governments of Belize and Taiwan. Today, the achievements of that partnership were presented.
This project is basically to see how we can do some adaptation to build resilience in the area of disaster risk reduction. I think the project looked at areas where we normally have flooding, especially when we have heavy rains in a short period of time and we have that type of flooding. And so they looked at certain areas where it needed drainage, larger culverts, both in San Ignacio and also a section of Buluchi village. And so guiding that water that comes from the hills especially down into the lower areas, and then instead of going into people's yards and flooding out, to find a way through to a lagoon or into the Belize River.
Many objectives.
The project, which was funded by the Republic of China, Taiwan, strengthens bilateral relations between both countries.
Over the past 32 years, Taiwan maintained a very close and robust interaction with Belize government and the people. And over the 32 years, both Taiwan and Belize also cooperated in implementing many projects and programs ranging from public health, education, and disaster prevention, and climate resilience, and some like transportation. And the most important one is the climate resilience. So we know that both Taiwan and Belize are facing the same challenges and difficulties caused by the climate change.
We have had assistance from them in the area of agriculture, education, of course, with a lot of scholarships. There has been cultural exchanges. And now with the area of disaster risk management, and I think recently also we have seen some input from them in the area of infrastructure development, and even with the project going up north. I will tell them also that from our standpoint of sustainable development, we would like to see this move forward into the area of technology and innovation.
While coastal communities are considered most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, Minister Orlando Habet says that the hope is that the project will focus on flood-prone areas in the Belize district.
Whilst we understand the severity of the problem, especially from coastal communities, in terms of disaster risk management, those areas would be very expensive to address, especially if you start looking at seagrass restoration, reef restoration, which is extremely expensive. So I think that the conversation we're having right now with them is that maybe we can look at other areas along the Belize River Valley, where we have the floodwaters that remain for 4 weeks, 5, 6 weeks at a time. So we're looking possibly at that area, and maybe areas in Toledo and Orange Walk where we also have some flooding.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tune in to Get the Facts, hosted by William Neal tonight at 7:30. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5 Live, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.